Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for your weekly wrap-up, and I want to begin first, as we always do, by thanking our newest supporters on the channel. We have Bob Bow and Lyndon Shank, who made an upgrade to his support of the channel, so I want to thank both of you for that. We also had a live stream yesterday where we finished off Corey's PC, successfully I might add, and we had a few folks who contributed via the Super Chat, including Jan Willem Van Barneveld, Stardos Agiani, and Mark Bollinger. So I want to thank everyone for their support of the channel this week, and also to all of you who watch on a regular basis as well, because all of those things equal channel growth. Now, we don't have an advertiser this week, but we've got a non-ad, an affiliate link for BlueApron.com. You can get 3 free meals at the link that you see there. We'll get a little commission if you do give it a shot. And I've been using this for a while now, since I started doing this full time. And it's kind of fun to finish up the workday, go upstairs and cook and have a nice meal. And what's cool is that you get something different every week. You can have, I believe, up to 6 meals a week delivered to you. I choose 3 of them. It's about $10 a person per meal, which is not bad from the price point perspective, and you get everything already measured out for you too. There is some prep time involved, so you do probably need about an hour or so to get everything going and cleaned up and everything, but I've been quite pleased with it, and I think you might be too. So this week on the Extras channel, I unboxed the Blackmagic ATEM Television Studio HD. This is a $1,000 production switcher, and I bought it as a backup for my TriCaster, and I had almost a reason to use it last week, and I'll explain this in a second, so that motivated me to finally take this thing out of the box and start messing around with it. But I found something else that I think might actually do a better job, so I'll get to all of that in a second here. On the main channel, we finished up the construction of assistant producer Corey's PC, and we also had a Q&A during that session as well. You can see that video linked down below in the master playlist. Now, if you recall, about 2 weeks ago, we started to construct his PC, but it didn't work, and the reason was that the motherboard had a bent pin on its processor socket. Thankfully, Newegg took it back, and they gave us another one. They even overnighted the replacement to Corey, so that was great. And he was able to get the computer up and running, and we did some benchmarks and answered some user questions. So definitely check out the live stream. We also had a sponsored video from Nokia Health on the Steel HR and some tips and tricks that I've picked up playing around with that fitness tracker. We looked at the Super Game Boy on the analog Super NT. If you don't recall, back in the days of the Super Nintendo, they had a cartridge that you could put Game Boy cartridges into and play them on your television. It was a very popular peripheral, and I picked one up at a game store in New York City. We unboxed it and got it working there, so that was a fun one. And we looked at the Lenovo Tab 4. This is an 8-inch tablet that also had LTE capabilities and cost less than $230. And a lot of you found that review of interest because tablets are still relevant, even though we don't see a lot of them, at least from name brand manufacturers. Lenovo's been keeping up the manufacturing of these Android tablets, and this one is not bad. It's not spectacular, but it seems to work pretty well for what a lot of people might want a tablet for. And now it is time for a couple of things that are on my mind, and would you believe it? We are 1 week away from the 1-year anniversary of me doing this as a full-time occupation. It's amazing that this year went by as quick as it did, but it has. I started just after March 1st a year ago, and things seem to be doing okay. So I'm pretty happy with where the channel has gone. I'll give you kind of a state of the channel address maybe next week when we get into all of that. But this week I had some technical challenges at the beginning of the week that kind of knocked my production schedule off kilter a little bit. What happens is, as you know, I use a TriCaster for my production work here, and it's been a very reliable piece of equipment here in the studio because I can turn it on, sit down, and start shooting and not have to really worry about keeping it working. But every once in a while, they have an update that comes down, and I updated the TriCaster, and wouldn't you know, the audio got all messed up on it. It was like making these crackling sounds, which was not good. So it kind of knocked me off course Friday through the weekend. I usually do a little work over the weekend also, and we got to Monday and things still weren't working just right. And thankfully, when I reached out to NewTek, who makes the TriCaster, they sent me down an older version of the firmware that I was able to use to update the TriCaster and get us back up in business once again. So that was good, but it made me think about needing an alternative that in case anything ever happens to this, I have something I can switch over to immediately. One of the things that I like about the TriCaster is that I can do things like you see on screen right now, where we've got this computer here projecting my PowerPoint presentation. We've got that looping background thing over there to the left, and I want to be able to replicate everything I I do in the TriCaster with something secondary if needed. And about a year and a half ago, I bought that Blackmagic A10, maybe it's a year now, just as an alternative, but it doesn't do all the things the TriCaster does. And I've really been looking for something quick and easy and simple that can fill that void. And I guess you could do OBS or something like that. But when I was at CES last month, somebody told me about some software called vMix, which I have found to be incredibly easy to get up and running. And it actually mirrors a lot of what my TriCaster does. And I think you could probably replicate what you can do in vMix with OBS or something, but I really like the workflow here, and the price on this is only about $60 for the 1080p version. And the best part about this is that it works with NDI, and right now I've got this running on this little laptop here. The cameras are coming in over the network, and I've covered NDI in the past. I do suggest you check out my review of the NewTek Connect Spark. And in a nutshell, what NDI lets you do is take HDMI video and put it out over your network for things like a TriCaster like what I use, or vMix to pick up, and OBS supports this now also. So you don't need to have your cameras hooked up to capture cards. You can put them on the network and then bring them in like this. And right now I've got a PTZ optics camera that I'm evaluating right now for an upcoming review, and this is allowing me to not only get the video in here, but control the camera also. I can wave to you here through the control panel here on vMix, and I have these presets set up to this. And if I want to add another camera, I can just go over here to add input. I'm going to go over to NDI, and we'll pull in my, my camera 1 here, which is me talking. So let's grab that. And this is coming in through my TriCaster, but I can put myself up here like so, hit cut, and that would go out to the stream. You can see me actually using this in practice during the stream we did the other day. And then I can also do something else here too. I can grab another input. They have all these titles on here too. So if I go over to title, they've got a bunch of presets here. I can just drop this one in. I think you can make your own with PNG files and that kind of thing. And what I can do is just hit one of these overlays, and it puts it over there like that. Pretty cool stuff. And this is all real time on a little laptop with no video input. It's all coming in through that USB Type-C cable. I've got a little dock connected to it with an Ethernet connection on there, and everything is just coming in over the network. Now, if you don't have an NDI camera, that Connect Spark thing that I reviewed is probably what you'll want to get. It's about $500, so it's not cheap, but if you are looking for ways to broaden your production without having to get a lot of capture cards and deal with all the intricacies of getting everything hooked up and working, I think this is a really good solution, because I can just get this computer on the network and I can go and stream out live from it. In fact, we were using my gaming PC, which is all the way in the corner over in the room here, and I didn't have to plug anything into it. I just had to turn it on and get my cameras on the network, and we were good to go. So really cool stuff. I can't believe how far this production stuff has come, and we're now at a point where a $60 piece of software might give you very similar functionality to a $5,000 or $6,000 production switcher. There are always glitches involved with running off of software-only based solutions, but with the NDI, it really makes it a lot easier, and I'm really quite impressed with how well this is working. So I'm going to start playing around a lot more with vMix here and set it up as an alternative should something happen to my TriCaster, but also knowing that I can bring out a moderately powered laptop with me in the field and get that same functionality with me on the road is pretty darn cool. So check out vMix if you haven't already. I'm going to do a review of it and probably buy myself that $60 license to explore it a little further. And one other thing I'm going to experiment with that is replicating exactly what you see here. It is capable of doing exactly what my TriCaster does, again though with a $60 piece of software. So we'll see how it stacks up when I have some more time to play with it, but you can see what we did with it on the live stream we did yesterday. And now it's time for a Q&A from you, the viewers, and our first question comes in here from Charvel GTRS, and this is in regards to the input lag testing that I do on all of these retro game consoles and other devices that we review here on the channel. And I've been getting comments like this off and on, and I wanted to address it here because I think it's important to look at consumer experience versus enthusiast experience. And one of the things that Charvel is mentioning here is that PC monitors tend to have much lower lag compared to consumer TVs and OLEDs and whatnot. And I totally agree with that. And the reason why I use my television versus my gaming monitor is that these consoles, like the Analog Super NT we looked at and many of the other retro consoles that we've played with, do really assume that the user is going to buy this thing and hook it up to a television. So I wanted to get the input lag that a consumer might experience with their regular, sub $1,000 TV in game mode. And what I've got over there is a Samsung KU6300. I did a full review of it about a year ago when I got it, and I bought that TV for I think like $500 or $600 during the Amazon Prime Day sale, when that was like the one thing to get on that sale. I somehow got in there at the right time. I was checking all day long. And it's a nice 4K set, and I think representative of what a consumer might have. So when I do my lag measurements, I use that. Incidentally, that TV is actually the fastest responding TV I have in the house, so that really worked out quite well. But again, I really want to focus on what is the consumer going to experience when they plug that retro console into their HD television versus a gaming monitor. I think people that are gamers and really know this stuff are going to know exactly the right thing to plug it into. But again, I really want to get a feel for what the real world experience will be plugged into a television. And that's why I use that TV as the basis for all the other things that I review. And what's been telling in that is just how much input lag a lot of these cheapo retro consoles do introduce to the game. And when you look at something like the Analog NT Mini or the Analog Super NT, which is designed to address this input lag issue, those come in, again, around 44 milliseconds or so, which is the lowest input lag I have tested on that television. A lot of the other consoles come in around 80 to 100 plus milliseconds, which does introduce a ton of lag for retro games that really demanded on precise reflexes during gameplay. And Joanne wrote in response to my review of the Mavic Air the other day, and she was curious why I chose the Mavic Air over the Mavic Pro. And I think it's important to note that I had a Phantom 4 that I was happy with from the standpoint of its functionality and performance, but not happy with because of its lack of portability. The Mavic Pro came out shortly after I bought the Phantom 4, so I think had I known that the Mavic Pro was coming out, I may have gone with that one. So if you think about sizes here, Phantom 4 is big, Mavic Pro is small, and the Mavic Air is tiny. And I really decided a year and a half out after I really hadn't been using the Phantom 4 at all to go with the tiny one, because now I can fit this in my luggage as opposed to this thing being the luggage. The Phantom 4, I'll put a picture up here so you can see what it looked like, was in this big case. I had to lug that around with me if I ever wanted to take it anywhere. Now with the Mavic Air, I can basically fit this in my bag, and it takes up about as much room as my camcorder does, even with the remote control and the power adapter. So I'm really pleased with the form factor here. It's smaller than my digital SLR is, and it's been a really fun little toy to play around with here, and I'm going to be using it a lot more over the summer. I think if you are looking at the Mavic Pro or the Air, I think the Air is just a better value. It's smaller, it costs less, it does everything the Pro does as far as I can see, and I think it's a really, if you're a casual user, it's a really fun little thing. And I've been really impressed with how well it's doing out in high wind. I took it to the beach for some of the footage I posted to the Extras channel, and it really held its own, even with a pretty good wind going against it there. So all in, I'm really quite pleased with this, and I'm going to be doing a lot more with aerial photography just as a hobby over the summer, and I really see myself using this a lot more than the Phantom 4. And again, I think if I was a year ago making this decision, I probably would have chosen the Pro over the Phantom, but for now, the form factor on the Air really makes this the winning bet for me. And for Joanne and anyone else thinking about buying a DJI drone, just know that they pretty much obsolete their products almost every 6 months. So whatever you get, there will be something better shortly thereafter. Just be prepared for that when you make a purchase with this company. They've taken Apple's early strategy with their iPod to a whole new degree, so just be ready for that. But if you're happy with what you got, I think you'll be happy overall. And this next question came in from Daniel Lim on my most recent sponsored video from Nokia Health. And around the same time I posted that video the other day, a memo leaked out from the company to the media about the health division. And Nokia Health is, of course, the division that manufactures the Steel HR watch that we've got here, along with the scales and other health products that we've talked about here on the channel. I use these things quite a bit. I actually like their health line a lot because it integrates really well with all of my other apps and everything. And you saw my weight loss video where I talked about how I'm using some of this stuff in my daily life here. And I bought some of these products too. It's not just the sponsorship here. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I did reach out through my agency contact to see if we can get any kind of comment on this. I haven't heard back yet, so I will certainly give you that comment from them when we get it. And you got to look here at the size of Nokia. What's funny is that Nokia stopped making phones, as you know, which was their primary business, and they've been licensing their technology out instead. So this is one of the few things that they're actually making right now from a manufacturing standpoint, at least for consumers. And the company overall is very healthy, 23.2 billion euros in sales last year. But the health division only made up 52 million euros of that. And I think from reading the memo, it seems like they feel this small division doesn't fit well in this big company that's doing many different things. And I think they likely, again, this is just my speculation here, I think the likelihood here is that they will probably sell the division to another company. And I think it might be something another company might have a lot of interest in because they've got good products. This is not junk, it's good stuff. And they've got a major new sleep product coming out later in the year that we saw at CES briefly. So I think overall that I don't think we're going to see the end of these products or the apps that go with them. At least I hope not. I think there's some value here in this division that they'll probably want to recoup some value from, as opposed to just shutting it down completely and turning it off. So we'll see if I'm right, but my speculation here is that they will sell it to a smaller company, and then the health products will continue probably under a different name. I recall, though, that these products began their life as another company called Withings that Nokia acquired a couple of years ago, and Nokia stamped their logo on the existing products and then started developing new products, and we might maybe see it come back to that old name. Who knows? But again, my guess here is that they'll probably continue onward under a different name with a new owner of that health division. Let's see if I'm right, and I'll let you know if I hear anything new from Nokia in the interim. And now it's time for a Q&A for you, the viewers, and I posted this up on my community tab that you can find on my YouTube channel, but you can also let me know down in the comments below. We haven't done a lot with mini PCs lately, partly because there hasn't been really anything new for me to look at. I did get a couple of good suggestions from you all already in the community tab there. I'll maybe look at getting a few of these in to review, but I am always eager to find new and inexpensive mini PCs and all the other stuff that a lot of you came to this channel for in the first place, so I don't want to stop doing that. It's just that there hasn't been anything really new to get. I think we're in the middle of a transition from the Apollo Lake chips from Intel to something new. And once that something new is available to manufacturers overseas, I think we'll start seeing GearBest get some of these little PCs in again, which we'll try to acquire. I also think we'll see some stuff from AMD this year. It looks like AMD is stepping into this space as well. So I am very eager to check out some of these things. I did order that new NUC that has the hybrid Intel AMD technology in it. So that's coming once it gets made and made available. So I think around April is when I'm getting that. But I will definitely keep doing this stuff. I want to make sure that you all know my interests have not changed, but it's just a matter of available products to review that has at the moment. So we will be doing more of that, but I'd love to get your opinion on what I should review down below in the video description. Our channel of the week this week is a fun one. A friend of mine sent this to me the other day. This is called the Action Lab. And it's run by this guy who's I guess he's a chemist by trade, and he does these really fun little experiments that you could probably do yourself, but you might just want to watch him do them. And they're really fun and engaging, and he's got such a passion and enthusiasm for what he's doing here that you just can't help but watch these over and over again. There's a lot of good stuff here. And this is a great example, by the way, of not needing the best production technology to be successful on this platform. It's really how you deliver the content. And this is a great example of somebody who works very efficiently and has been able to build up a sizable channel here of 730,000 subscribers. A lot of his videos get over a couple million views, so he's got something going on here, and definitely check him out if you haven't seen him already. So this week we got a couple of fun things to check out. The first is a SanDisk drive. This is their Extreme 900. And this is a portable solid-state drive, but it's actually two drives in one, set up in a RAID 0 configuration for maximum throughput. So you'll see how this works in that review coming up this week. I already shot it over the weekend, so you'll be seeing that shortly. I do hope to get to this wide format Epson printer. It's actually kind of a cool printer, so I want to show that to you as soon as I get time in the schedule, so that's coming up. We'll have our sponsored video from Plex this week as well. And I have two concepts I'm playing around for that video, and I will show you which one wins out when I have time to play with both ideas that I'm working on there. And we're looking at a sponsored video from Kensington this week on Thunderbolt docks. Again, I'm diving through how the standards work so you can understand what to look for when shopping for a Thunderbolt dock. That one will hopefully be up later this week as well. So lots of stuff on the horizon here. Now, if you want to support the channel, you can. You can go to Lon.TV/support and make a one-time or monthly contribution to the channel. I'm also still supporting Patreon too, if you prefer to go that way. I mean, what I would love to do in the future is not have sponsors at all and rely only on viewer revenue. And at some point, it'd be nice to get there. But in the meantime, we're going to do a mix of the two as best we can. And I know sometimes people complain about these sponsored posts, but I got a business to run here, and we need sponsors right now to keep that business operating in a healthy fashion, and I'll continue to do my full disclosures as I do that. Your contributions go right to that guy sitting over there, Corey, who's been helping do all the things on the channel to keep the production flow and quality going. So we both thank you for your continued support. We also have our ongoing relationship with Plex. So if you go on Lon.TV/Plex and sign up for a free Plex account with no credit card required, you will get yourself a Plex account, and we'll get a little commission for that. You can also get a Plex Pass at Lon.TV/Plex Pass, where we get a commission, and we can get a commission if you gift a Plex Pass to somebody else. I have a bunch of other channels you can check out. The Extras channel, of course, which is where we post supplementary content and unboxings. The podcast, where you can find an audio version of this show. We have our Snippets channel at Lon.TV/Snippets for portions of other videos from these other channels that I stick over there for search optimization. And we have my live stream archive at Lon.TV/Livestreams, so you can see hours upon hours of me blabbering away, talking about whatever comes to mind. I do ask, though, if you like what I'm doing, to click on that bell notification so you can get notified whenever a new video goes up. We also have some ways to engage with the channel more directly, like the email list at Lon.TV/email. We have our Facebook page at Lon.TV/Facebook and the store at Lon.TV/store. And I'm thinking about actually setting up a Facebook group where we can all interact with each other a little more regularly. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments section below. And I do plan to add some inventory to the store in the next couple of days, hopefully. So if you want to be alerted every time I add something to the store, you can go to Lon.TV/store alert. These are items that I purchased to review here on the channel and I'm now reselling. So I think I'm going to be selling that Google Daydream headset in a couple of days, along with some other stuff that I've got kicking around here that I need to get rid of. So be on the lookout there. It is one to a customer because there's only one item to buy. So be sure to act quickly when that alert makes its way to you. And that's going to do it for this week's weekly wrap-up. Thank you all for your continued support of the channel, both through your contributions, but also through your viewership, comments, and suggestions. We are doing great a year into this little adventure, and I hope to continue doing great as the next year begins. Thank you all once again. Let me know what you think about everything down below in the comment stream, and I'll see you again very soon. This is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters of the Black Eyed and Blues Music Hour podcast: Chris Allegretta, Gerard Newberg, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.